you should see.
Oh, I certainly do.
This wall.
This great blank wall. The other walls are quite attractive.
I agree.
It's just, I like the looks of these other walls.
Well, thank you very much.
It's just this one.
This fourth one.
Oh, this is the one that throws me for a loop.
Yeah, I figured it might.
I mean, it's just there, Roger. This great, blank, undecorated wall.
And I thought you should see it firsthand.
Yes, I'm very glad I flew up. Otherwise, I wouldn't have believed it.
Now, Julia, being from New York, you must be familiar with a variety of private residences.
Too familiar, according to my last husband.
All right, now, I imagine you've seen them decorated in many different ways.
Oh, Roger, you'd be amazed what New Yorkers do to adorn their dens. It's their way of warding off evil.
All right, now tell me, in all your experience, have you ever seen a room done quite like this?
You mean with this wall?
With this wall?
Only... Oh, but no.
What, you were going to say?
Roger, do you remember those plays that would begin with an attractive woman and a charming man coming into a room and talking?
Oh, I do.
Oh, this reminds me of the rooms they talked in.
All right, now keep that thought in mind and tell me something else. Do you like it?
You mean this wall?
This wall?
Oh, Roger. I've lived in New York long enough to know never to pass judgment on how other people live. We have the New York Times to do that.
Oh, come on, Julia. We grew up together right here in Buffalo. I remember once in the 3rd grade, you took me aside and told me you could see my underpants.
Did I do that?
You did. I corrected the problem immediately. It saved me considerable embarrassment during recess.
Then I'll speak out again. Do I like this wall? No, I don't. But maybe it's how things are placed.
Placed?
Well, the furniture. I mean, if this wall were behind you, you could live with it. You could ignore it or just glance at it occasionally over your shoulder like this. It could be a conversation piece. But with all your furniture facing it, you're forced to confront it the minute you walk in the room.
Yeah, now that's the thing, isn't it?
That's the thing. I'll go one step further, Roger. Your decorator should be shot at sunrise.
No decorator is responsible for this wall, Julia.
Well, no decorator, then who?
Peggy!
Peggy! Your wife, Peggy.
Mm.
My old friend Peggy, who is known in the past for her quiet, good taste.
This is the way she wants the room.
But is she serious?
She's never been more serious in her life.
But suppose you prove to her that she's made a serious mistake. What if, for example, you took this chair and unobtrusively eased it around to face that cozy fireplace?
Peggy would unobtrusively ease it right back.
And if you focus things on that pleasant greenery?
Peggy would refocus them the first chance she got.
To face that blank wall?
To face that blank wall.
But why is Peggy behaving so strangely?
I wish I knew.
I keep thinking of plays.
Now, I asked you to keep them in mind.
Oh, doesn't this room make you feel the minute you walk in as if you were acting in one?
Well, of course it does. Perhaps you've noticed since we've been in here, we've begun to talk in this artificial, stagey sort of way.
I have noticed that, Roger, and it's hard work. I mean, not only do I have to think about what to say, but I have to think about how best to say it.
Me too. Well, I mean, I also.
It's exhausting, Roger.
Of course it is. And you're just a visitor here. I have to live here. This is my living room.
Well, there must be some other room you can retreat to. There has to be a den somewhere.
Well, I get to it when I can, but Peggy keeps coming back in here. Since I like to be with her, I follow along. That's when the trouble starts.
Trouble?
The minute we get in here, she becomes restless and impatient. I feel kind of obligated to keep her interested. The result is, more and more, I find myself performing like a trained seal in front of this idiotic wall. I try to ignore it. You know, I try not to ignore it. I am constantly aware that I'm on the line as a husband, a man, and an actor.
Have you had any stage experience?
None at all, Julia. I'm a businessman. Run a small factory here in Buffalo. We manufacture spherical distributors.
Oh, spherical distributors. Now don't tell me. They go in the engines of automobiles.
No, they're the little plastic balls that go into roll-on deodorants.
Oh, post-industrial. Oh, I imagine in these anxious times you're doing quite well.
Success means nothing, Julia, when at the end of the day I am forced to confront this dumb wall. Have you ever read Melville's Bartleby?
Of course not.
Okay, well, I have. What it's about is... Skip it. Have a drink, Julia?
Oh, I don't know. People in New York don't drink much anymore, at least not in public.
Just a glass of champagne?
Actually, I should be catching a plane back. I'm meeting someone tonight for some romance. I'll send you a bill for my consulting.
Hey, don't go, Julia, please. It is hell being left alone in this room. You feel compelled and you have stuff to do.
It's also a very hard room to leave. I keep feeling like I need a better exit line.
Then have a glass of champagne, just as an excuse to stay.
All right. One glass, just for old times' sake.
Good.
I must say, I am amazed by what I've seen. I mean, I would have thought from your annual Christmas card that Peggy was primarily interested in children and dogs.
Well, she used to be. She was also had a strong commitment to community service. But then, our last daughter went off to college. The Dalmatian died. And then the funds for the downtown center dried up. Well, that's when she started to rearrange the furniture. But, hey, welcome back to Buffalo. Do you like this champagne, by the way?
May I be frank again?
I wish you would.
No, I don't.
That's because it's stage champagne, Julia. I don't dare serve real alcohol in this room for fear we'll start to slur our words and say something stupid in front of this idiotic wall.
Hello?
She's coming in. You've got to see this for yourself. We're in here, darling.
Quickly, how should I behave?
Just try to be natural.
Oh, I can't. I haven't been natural in years. I'll be theatrical. The situation seems to call for it. Hello, dear.
Look who flew up from New York. Our old friend Julia.
Oh, Peggy.
Why, Julia, hello.
It's both cheeks in New York, darling, like alternate parking.
Where have you been, dear?
Oh, just out and about.
I hear you're a do-gooder, Peggy. Have you been out helping the homeless and stuff?
Oh, I wish I could. Have you, noticed my wall?
I have to admit the subject came up, Peggy.
What does it do to you?
Well, Peggy, it raises a number of interesting questions.
And I've been trying to answer them, darling.
I believe they call it the exposition in the theater.
Is that where they go over old ground?
Exactly, Peggy.
Oh, there's too much exposition in the world. I have to make a telephone call.
Who to, dear?
Oh, I'll think of somebody.
We've lost her.
I'm furious, Roger. She treated me as if I was simply an extra. We barely made eye contact.
She does it a lot.
We grew up together. I haven't seen her for years, and now she trumps up some excuse to walk off.
Don't take it personally, Julia. The other night we threw a dinner party in here. She did the same thing.
Dinner party? Why didn't you invite me? I shine at dinner parties.
It was just a small thing. A few people who happened to be in town. former Governor Cuomo, Cornelius Bennett of the Buffalo Bills, Kitty Carlisle Hart of that crowd.
I'd have flown up immediately. I've been dying to talk with all three of them.
Yeah, well, when you hear what happened, you'll be glad you didn't. Like a fool, I served real alcohol. As a result, the conversation became somewhat random. Peggy got impatient and left the room.
Oh, I hope she had a better exit line.
It was worse. She announced she wanted to take a bath.
Oh, good Lord. Did she need one?
Of course not. But she spent the rest of the evening splashing around in the tub and reading the New Republic.
And what did you do?
Hey, I tried to keep things going as best I could, but it sure wasn't easy with my wife splashing around and singing.
Singing what?
If I had a hammer,
Oh,
I'd
for
have...
heaven's sake, something's got to be done.
That's why I asked you to fly out. I figured you could get a handle on all this, being a woman and a New Yorker.
I'm very glad I'm both. Now, let me see. I'm going over in my mind all that I've read recently in the living section of the New York Times. Roger, I've got it. This room, these strange exits and entrances. Peggy, in her middle years, has come to see her life as some sort of play.
You think that's
Oh,
it?
absolutely. It happens a lot with suburban housewives. The emptiness, all that. Most of them seem to accept the situation and settle for a supporting role.
Yeah, but not Peggy.
Peggy seems to be warming up for a major part. Which is ridiculous when you think about it. I mean, she has no New York experience at all.
So to her, we're all in some play.
Exactly. And apparently, she wants us to act it out. I must say, might be fun. As long as we keep it regional and not for profit.
But it's no fair, Julia. Jeez, here I am. I'm rich, free, my kids are educated. I am ready to celebrate not only my own success, but the success of capitalism in general. When my wife wants me to perform some unknown play in front of some idiotic wall.
Now.
But I hate it. God, I am beginning to see the world as simply a stage, and all of us, men and women, actors, strutting around in it.
Others have said that before, Roger, and said it better.
That's because I am no good at making up lines. It's no fair.
Get over yourself, Roger. If Peggy wants a play, surely she must have a plot. So, what do you think her plot is, Roger?
I don't know. I don't know, and I don't think she knows either. I am trying to be a good sport about all of this, but I'm totally unclear about what I'm supposed to be doing.
I'm coming back.
She's coming back. Now tell me what to do.
Try making a speech.
A speech?
Give her something to react to.
Yeah, but it's...
Have I missed anything?
We missed you, darling.
But what's been going on?
Oh, well, we've just been drinking champagne and doing a little bit of light dialogue, Peggy.
Is that all? Oh, I was hoping for more.
I agree with you, Peggy. There's your cue.
Peggy, darling, let me remind you of something. This is our living room. This is where we have lived for over 20 years.
Well, I know that.
But see, look, here on the piano, our family happily arranged. Little Teddy and Little E, Elsie graduating from high school.
How sweet.
And our family, Peg, here's my parents on that trip to Italy. Yours when they flew up for Thanksgiving.
They fought all through dessert.
Right, but look, love. See our hearth, our mantelpiece. Your Community Service Award nestled right alongside my Buffalo Better Business Medal. Oh, and that lovely vase our friends gave us.
Our 15th anniversary.
Right. And that right there where the dog peed. And that spot on the wall where you threw your drink at Madge Baxter during the Vietnam War.
She wanted to assassinate Jane Fonda.
Right. See, look. Look out the window. There's the sandbox I made for the kids before the cats started using it. There's the stump that was home plate in our wiffle ball games, and the maple tree, which is now as high as the house.
This is a lovely speech he's giving, Peggy. It's too long, but it's lovely.
I know that.
Well, then look this way, love. Face this way, not at some dumb blank wall.
I can't.
Why not?
It's not enough.
Not enough? Our life together has not been enough?
There should be more.
I think she wants you to get deeper, Roger.
Deeper?
That's it, isn't it, Peggy? You want it deeper.
Maybe.
Try the speech again, Roger. Only this time, make it deeper and shorter.
Peggy, darling, this is our life. See our family happily arranged on the piano. Elsie, I can't do this, Peg.
I know you can't.
I think what we really need is a plot, Peggy.
Maybe that's it.
I think it is. You don't have one up your sleeve, do you? Just to jumpstart us?
No, I don't. I really don't. I do have a sense that something is missing.
I'll tell you one thing, Roger. These sudden exits are becoming irritating. What she needs is a good director.
Maybe if you talk to her alone.
I don't think I can.
Come on, I paid your fare up here. And with what the airlines are charging these days, that is the least you can do.
I'm just not sure I'm up to it.
Come on. You're a woman, after all.
That's exactly why I can't.
What do you mean?
Roger, any scene I played with Peggy would be doomed to fail.
Why?
Because I wanted to.
You wanted to fail?
I suddenly find myself wanting Peggy to continue down this strange theatrical road. I also find myself wanting you to become so frustrated with her that you'll turn elsewhere for solace and romance.
Elsewhere?
Namely to me.
Uh-oh.
I'm sorry, but that's what I want.
I'm amazed, Julia.
So am I. But what can we do? We've got to have a plot. And so far, this is the only one I can come up with.
But surely, living in New York, you must have other romantic commitments, huh? Lovers, a new husband, various other affiliations, huh?
Of course. I'm supposed to be meeting one of the above this evening.
That's right. You mentioned something about an appointment, huh?
But now, I have no intention of keeping it. I am finding myself feeling feelings I haven't felt since I saw your underpants in 3rd grade.
Hey!
I'm sorry, Roger, but I'm here. I'm available, and I'm famished for love. So you see, it's cruel of you to ask me to play a scene which goes so much against my own romantic objectives.
Ooh, this is a tough one.
There it is.
Let's have some more champagne while we think about it.
Oh, I'd better not. Given the mood I'm in, even fake champagne might make me more aggressive.
Whoa, hey, gosh, whoa. Whew. I mean, I fly you all the way up here to help me get my wife back, and now you want to become lovers.
At least it's a plot, Roger.
Whew, it is. It is definitely a plot. Now look, I'm only an amateur here. I'm perfectly willing to admit that. But it seems to me that the theater is riddled with scenes of self-sacrifice. Now, if you were to play out such a scene with Peggy, you'd be working to repair a marriage which your own romantic appetites are tempting you to destroy. I could be wrong, but I think the stuff of real drama might lie in a scene like that.
You think so?
I do. In fact, it sounds like a star turn to me. Now, if there were critics beyond that wall, I think they'd be convinced by that scene alone that your name belongs above the title and ahead of all the rest, even out of alphabetical order.
Then I'll do it.
Thanks, Julia.
Oh, you shouldn't have kissed me, Roger. It only whets my romantic appetite.
Well, that's exactly why I did it.
Oh, you are a ruthless man.
Well, I'm learning you have to be ruthless in the theater. I think we're getting somewhere, Peggy.
I'll be right in, sweetheart.
Oh, good Lord, does she listen off stage?
Of course not.
Are you sure? It might affect how I play the scene.
My wife is no eavesdropper, Julia.
Oh, but she is so on cue.
That's just this room again. It makes everything contrived and mechanical. That's why I need your help. Look, I'll duck off so you two can have what the French call a tit-a-tit.
I find that remark offensive, Roger.
So do I. You see what's happening to me here? I'm making cheap jokes to ridicule women. Help me, Julia, please.
I'll do what I can to cope with an impossible situation. No New Yorker could do better than that.
Here I am.
I'm gonna duck out and watch the ball game at the den.
Oh, you're not staying?
I've been working my tail off since square one. I need a little time out on the bench.
He's upset.
That's what I want to talk to you about, Peggy.
Shoot.
Now, Peggy, normally in New York, when we're talking to our friends, and we suspect the conversation might become confrontational, we try to ease into the issue with a few pleasant preliminaries. We talk about the weather, touch on current events, recall moments in the past which may have been mutually agreeable. Only after these diversionary overtures have been thoroughly played out do we gingerly step across the border into the area of controversy.
Sounds like a complicated way to keep friends, Julia.
Well, it works. But in your case, Peggy, the issue is so compelling, I plan to rush right to the point. Peggy, what is the story on this bizarre fourth wall?
I wish I knew.
Oh, I won't accept that as an answer.
It's always been there, you know, that wall. I'm just calling attention to it.
But it makes people feel self-conscious, Peggy. It forces them to perform.
That might be a step in the right direction.
What direction, Peggy? We have no idea where you're taking us with this wall.
What if we could break through it, Julia?
Break through it?
What if something wonderful lies beyond it?
I'll tell you what lies beyond it, Peggy. Your dining room lies beyond it. So if you broke through it, you'd be in an entirely different place.
But what if you're wrong, Julia? What if there were people out there? What if these people had paid money to be there? And what if they had given up watching television or going to a game? And they were sitting right there, waiting for us to reach them.
Come on, Peggy.
No, what if it were true? And what if this audience was really democratic and there were poor people there as well as rich and they were ethnically diverse? And what if, for example, there was a decent number of African Americans out there?
They'd hate this thing, Peggy. They'd rush right off to Spike Lee.
But what if they've stayed, Julia? And what if there's Asians and Latinos. What if they've all come here hoping that we'll reach them where they live?
If there are any people out there at all, Peggy, I suspect they're primarily Jewish. Well, the poor dears have been keeping the theater going almost single-handedly for the last 30 years.
Well, then we'll reach them too.
Neil Simon already does that, dear.
And we should connect to the Arab community.
You just blew it, dear.
I don't care. And we should reach out to Republicans and to Democrats and to that wall. It's still there. I'd give my eye teeth to get beyond it.
Peggy, darling, try to remember that walls were put on this earth for two purposes: to hold up ceilings and to keep people from killing each other. Now, I'm all for them, and so I believe are most architects.
I don't agree with you, Julia. I've devoted my entire life to the breaching of walls. I broke through the wall between childhood and adolescence, and I broke through the wall between the single life and married life, and then Roger and I, we built a cozy little wall around our home and our family. And I broke through that when I got a job. And then all I saw were walls. Walls upon walls everywhere I looked. I see a wall between you and me, Julia.
I hope so, Peggy. At school, they made us memorize Robert Frost.
I know. Stone walls make good neighbors. Oh, but maybe we're just too hung up on those ramparts we watch. And maybe this wall, this fourth wall, this last wall, maybe it is just an illusion. But all I know is that I'll never be happy. Ever, Julie, until I can see beyond it, get through it, and leave it behind me.
Hey, now, I've only been here for 20 minutes, and already I am feeling this pressing need to take some sort of action. It's as if there's a little voice whispering in my ear saying, "Move it, lady, get to the plot."
I hear something else.
Such as what?
I don't know. It's something different in it, and it's calling me from beyond the wall.
Saying,
Well, I'm not really sure. It's something like, "Come on in, the water's fine."
I'm not interested in playing Esther Williams, darling. Now, Peggy, stop trying to be so avant-garde and start thinking about your marriage.
Roger talked to you about that?
I never reveal my sources.
Oh, Julia. I was hoping this wall would help improve our marriage. I was hoping that he and I would sit here in front of it and we'd talk seriously about important matters. How many couples ever do that? How many couples ever talk at all? Seems all they do is eye each other across the table at meals, and then they fight when they get in the car.
You might lose him, Peggy.
Why would you think that?
I sense he's being pulled in another direction.
I sense that too.
Then turn away from this wall, Peggy, and turn your furniture away from it. Stand up right now and turn your back to it.
No, thank you. I've been turning my back on things for far too long. Even if there's nothing beyond that wall, I have to behave as though there were people there.
Even if you don't know where you're going?
Even so.
Even if your behavior forces your husband into the arms of another? Well, I won't reveal the only plot we have.
I'm sorry. Here I stand.
Then we'll have to play things out, each in her own way.
I'm afraid so.
I sense that our scene is virtually over.
So do I. I better go see about something for dinner. By the way, you are welcome to stay, but we do eat in the kitchen. Things get a little more cozy and informal in there.
I might. Depends on what happens in my next scene.
Fair enough.
Would you send Roger in on your way past the den? I'd like to tell him something.
Okay.
Oh, and ask him to make it snappy, please. I'd hate to be stuck out here alone doing cliched stage business like thumbing through a magazine or fussing with my hair. I'd hate that, Julie. And Peggy. Fourth wall or not.
Why don't you play the piano?
Because I don't know how.
You don't have to play. It plays itself. It's one of those player pianos by Wurlitzer, the one out of, oh gee, Niagara Falls.
I'm not interested in provincial nostalgia, Peggy. I left all that behind back here in Buffalo. Oh, too high. Better. Ooh, good. I'm in love again, and the spring is coming. I'm in love again. Hear my heartstrings strumming. I'm in love again, and the hymn I'm humming is the huddle up, cuddle up blues. I'm in love again, and I can't rise above it. I'm in love again, and I love it. I'm in love again, and I'm darn glad of it. Good news.
I see you've discovered our player piano.
Yes.
I programmed it strictly for Cole Porter.
I noticed. I'm in love again, and I can't rise above it. I'm in love again, and I love it. I'm in love again, and I'm darn glad of it. Good news.
Well,
Do you think we could squeeze out one more reprise?
I'm concerned about Peggy. She said you had something to say.
I do. Roger, brace yourself. I've decided your wife is insane.
Oh, come on.
Nuts! Totally! Mad as a hatter!
Are you sure?
Look, if it were just a question of play acting in front of this wall, I'd say fine, let's keep it up. As you know, I'm beginning to enjoy it. But she wants to break through, Roger.
To where?
To some other side. To reach people of different backgrounds. I wouldn't be surprised if she wanted to touch them. It's the 60s without the Beatles.
Lord.
And she has no plot, Roger, not even a subplot. Just some vague desire to make connections.
You make her sound like an unemployed telephone operator.
At least I have a plot.
And did you tell her that?
I broadly hinted at it.
And what did she say?
Nothing.
She didn't care?
The only thing she cares about is this stupid fourth wall. Now, I've done what I can as a concerned friend of the family. It is time to ship her off to the bunny farm, toot sweet.
Oh, jeez, Julia.
No, I'm serious. The poor soul needs help. Call the men in white and get her out of here.
But we've been married for so long. I mean, to see her thrown to the ground and grappled into a straitjacket.
They did it to Blanche Dubois in a streetcar. I found it profoundly moving.
Yeah, we're talking about my wife, the mother of my children.
No. Now be strong, Roger. Stride to that telephone and dial manfully.
I don't know the number of the insane asylum.
976 nuts. It's not advertised at the airport. I don't believe that.
One of the kids is on the extension.
Your children are not here. Now you're becoming totally implausible, Roger. Now dial, or I will. What's that?
A car door slamming.
Don't tell me that's the ambulance already. That's fast work even for the theater.
This may be someone else. Peggy will let him in.
Let who in?
Look, why don't you sit down and I'll tell you all about it.
I sense a twist I am unprepared for.
Have a glass of champagne, Julie.
I already told you no. Now quit stalling and tell me what's going on.
All right, Julia. You see, while you had your little scene out here with Peggy, I went, like I said I would, to watch the ball game in the den. When I got there, however, I found I couldn't concentrate. Not only was I torn between two women, but I felt myself trapped in this play not of my own making.
I can understand your confusion.
Well, finally, out of desperation, I made a telephone call
A telephone call.
to the State University Department of Drama. Look, I figured if anyone could help us solve this dilemma, someone who had devoted his life to the study of drama might be able to do so.
So you dialed SUNY Buffalo?
I did. I braved their new Centrex answering system and defied the rudeness of students who kept putting me on hold, please. Finally, I found myself speaking to a member of the drama faculty named Professor Lesser.
Professor Lesser.
Naturally, he prefers that we call him simply by his first name, Floyd.
Rather than Professor Lesser? Yes, that all makes sense.
Look, I explained to him our problem and invited him to drop by. Like most academics, he had nothing else to do. I strongly suspect, therefore, this may be Floyd arriving at our door. Would you get that, darling?
I must say, I'm hurt, Roger. I mean, you asked me for my advice, and all of a sudden you're calling it a second opinion.
I had to. We need the cool, calm eye of academia to examine our problem and advise us which steps to take next.
I've never much liked university professors. I've had affairs with several, and they all seem to be obsessed with tenure. No, I don't trust this Floyd person already.
We have a guest, people. This is Floyd. He's an assistant professor of dramatic literature, specializing in modern American drama.
Eugene O'Neill through David Mamet, actually. Though I also do a broad survey of world theater.
Floyd? This is my husband, Roger. He's a successful American businessman.
Hello, Floyd.
Oh, and this is Julia, who purports to be a friend of the family.
Hello, Floyd. Do you have tenure?
Not yet.
Thank God.
Enough chit-chat, gang. All right, everybody, please sit down. I suppose I should say at the start that you will be judged as much by your comments along the way as by what you may write on the exam.
Exam? You give exams?
I do indeed. I think it's important to pull things together at the end. I normally ask people to write an essay of 8 to 10 pages.
Single or double spaced?
Double. But in this case, we might settle for oral examinations.
He sounds like a dentist.
Who said that? I'm waiting. We will simply stand here wasting valuable stage time until the person who made that remark has the courage to admit it.
I said it
Why?
because I thought it was funny.
And was it?
It didn't get quite the laugh I thought it would.
Exactly, Julia. And I'll tell you why. Because it wasn't serious. Comedy, people, is a serious business. Now we've learned that. Let's move on. Yes, Peggy,
I'm worried about something on the stove. May I have your excuse, please?
you may.
Oh, all of you should feel free to talk about me after I'm gone.
Now that was a sweet exit. Talk about me when I'm gone. I like that remark. Of course, most of theater is about that.
Most of life is about that.
Wrong. Another half-baked remark. Beware of comparing life and the theater, gang. Life is sprawling and unpredictable. Theater is confined and artificial. There is no comparison. Unless your own life happens to be confined and artificial as well. Is it, Julia?
Well,
Yes, well, we'll find out soon enough, won't we? No, people, life is action! Theater is talk. Or rather, in the theater, talk is action. In any case, the best theater is primarily the best talk, which is why I become immediately impatient with characters who talk before they think.
Can we talk about Peggy now that she's gone?
Raise your hand, please, Roger.
Did you have a chance to observe my wife?
I did.
And do you have any thoughts based upon that observation?
I'll simply say she seems like a woman. She seems like a very attractive woman to me.
I agree, thanks.
we think she's nuts, do you?
Hand, please.
Do you think she might have psychological difficulties?
Not necessarily. No. I'd say she seems like a woman waiting.
A woman waiting.
Yes, she's waiting for something. Some scene, some action, some plot, which will enable her to play a meaningful role. Out there, she was like an actress waiting to come on. In here, she was like an actress waiting to go off. Note, now that she is preparing dinner, I suspect when it is done, she will serve it to us. Wait on us, so to speak. Waiting, always waiting. I'm reminded of Samuel Beckett.
Is that good?
Well, that is very good. My compliments to your wife, sir.
Thanks, Floyd.
But she has no plot.
I'll bet you have a plot, don't you, Julia?
As a matter of fact, I do, yes.
Yes, I bet you do. I bet you it's one of those cheap second-rate triangle things leading from adultery to divorce.
Yes, well, at least it keeps things moving.
Better Beckett than that.
Well, we'll see.
Yes, I hope we do, Julia. I hope your cliched little plot collapses before the evening is half over.
Well, I
Hey,
think that my
geez, guys, we're getting all hung up on plot here. I am worried about my wife.
You're right, Roger. We've gotten ahead of ourselves. It's always better to begin by discussing the set. So this is the sacred space, eh?
This is it.
This is the grove of Dionysus.
I guess.
And this, I assume, is the infamous fourth wall.
Right.
Note how all the furniture faces it.
I'm familiar with the requirements of realistic drama, madam. Forget I teach this stuff.
Well, hoity-toity to you.
I'll consider that a stage whisper and ignore it. Yes, well, the set is pretty much as you described it, Roger. You did a fine job on the telephone, and this workhorse in the visual arts, I give you a straight A.
Thanks. Floyd?
That's the good news. The bad news is, it's ridiculously old-fashioned. I'm amazed. I'm truly amazed that in this day and age, someone would bother to design a set like this.
I happen to think that with the right adjustments, this could be a lovely room.
In 1925, perhaps. In 1938, at a stretch. Possibly in Britain for a brief nostalgic period after World War II, but not in America at the beginning of the 21st century. No, I'm sorry, people. Bourgeois domestic comedy is dead. And I, for one, am glad to see it go.
Oh, that lovely face!
It symbolized our marriage.
Consider it just a prop, Roger. Let it symbolize your last link to the past.
Oh yeah? Well that liquor's a prop too, Floyd. You're mixing yourself a glass of water.
I know that, Roger. But look how well I'm doing it. Now sit down, people. Derivation of the word prop. Short for stage property. Came into use in the 18th century. Think of it also as a support. It props you up. We academics are really actors, you know. We strut and fret around in front of the class, and we too need our props. A book, a piece of chalk, or in this case a drink, to lean on. Think it's something to do.
You said earlier that this type of play is dead.
I did. Yes, I did. Yes.
If so, why are you bothering to stick around?
That's the first good question you've asked, Julia. So I'll tell you. I'm sticking around because there is one thing in this room which intrigues me.
What thing?
This fourth wall.
This fourth wall.
This, don't you see, redeems things. It's here. It dominates the room. And it implies a world beyond the world it is supposed to contain.
And you think that's good?
I think it might be. Yes. You wonder if your wife is insane, Roger. My answer is possibly no. By insisting on this wall, your wife may be more in touch with the postmodern world than anyone else in this room. Except me. Simply through the configuration of this room, your wife may be subtly challenging Western democratic capitalism at its very core.
Like Melville's Bartleby.
Exactly, Roger. Very good. Very good. But she may be going further. She may be saying that there is something more than material success and the quaint pleasures of hearth and home. At a time when Communism has collapsed in ruins, and the lowliest citizen of the poorest country secretly aspires to live in a room just like this. Your wife may be saying, "No, don't bother, it's not worth it." Because there is a world elsewhere, a world beyond this wall, which is far more worth reaching. It is a daring room, and therefore a dangerous one.
Dangerous. You think my wife is in danger?
Oh, nonsense. I noticed a perfectly excellent security system when I walked in the door.
It will take more than a suburban burglar alarm to keep out the reactionary forces of militant capitalism, Julia!
Lord.
Now look, I could be all wrong about this thing. This could be nothing more than another domestic comedy. The kind of thing the English have always done better and the Americans vulgarize into the sitcom on TV. It could be that. And if it is, I swear to you, I will dismiss you both as soon as I finish my drink.
Or
it could be a deep and dangerous challenge to contemporary values. A major step in the 21st century, working within the rubrics of realistic drama, yet systematically deconstructing them as it goes along.
and how will you be able to tell?
Talking to Peggy. Go get her immediately.
Well, I will. But
But what?
Look, I have to tell you, I hope this is just a conventional comedy. What I mean is, I hope it has a conventional happy ending. I really want my wife back.
Come on, Roger. Join the modern world. Embrace the random. Allow for a little dissonance around here. Who knows? I might even end up with her myself.
Yes. You heard him say how attractive she is.
They call that a plant in the theater. P-L-A-N-T, as in the sense of a seed planted which will grow to fruition later on.
Well, I don't like that plant. Thanks.
Come on, Roger. Grow up. Go with the flow. After all, we have our own little garden to cultivate, remember?
Your task is simply to send in Peggy. What happens off stage is no concern of mine.
You heard him. Come on. Let's go make our garden grow.
Why shouldn't I take a chance when romance passes by? Why shouldn't I know of love? Why wait around when each age has a sage who has found that upon this earth love is all that is really worth thinking of? It must be fun, lots of fun, to be sure when day is done that the hour is coming when you'll be kissed and then you'll be kissed again.
You wanted to talk to me, Floyd?
Yes, I did, Peggy, but first I wonder if you'd help me finish this song.
Sure, why not? All debutantes say it's good.
And every star out in far Hollywood seems to give it a try. So why shouldn't I? them as clearly and thoroughly as you can.
Well, I'll try.
First, what are we having for dinner?
Well, I made a casserole. It's just chicken, but I added some cheese and broccoli, and then I was
That's
gonna put
enough.
some.
Sounds good. And I think I'll stay.
Well, I'm glad I made enough.
Now, is it true, Peggy, that you think there are people beyond that wall?
Well, I think there could be. I think there should be.
Should be, Peggy?
Oh, I just think it would be terrific if there was some place where people could gather together away from their CDs, their TVs, and their VCRs, and see and hear live actors say serious things about their city, their country, their world.
What you're saying is that any culture which cannot produce good theater and a good solid audience to respond to it is no culture at all.
Maybe that's it.
And you're also saying, no, don't let me put words in your mouth, but what you might be saying is that most great Western nations, be it Greece in the age of Pericles or Elizabethan England, have produced great theater when they were at their peak.
Is that true?
It is, indeed. And maybe you're saying that we ourselves have caught a whiff of that greatness, even in this country, in the period from Eugene O'Neill through Arthur Miller, when indeed this country was at the height of its power.
I could be saying that yet.
And you're also saying that now that our theater is in decline, you're concerned that our greatness as a nation is declining as well, and that therefore this wall, and your yearning to reach beyond it, is an attempt to revitalize theater in America and to keep this great country from sliding irrevocably into darkness and decay.
Maybe that's it.
Oh, God, Peggy, you don't know how exciting this is. This afternoon, I was sitting alone in my office, hoping that one of my students in American drama might stop by at least to chat. I knew this was unlikely, however, because, well, this semester I'm down to just 3 students in that class. An ambitious young man who wants to write film scripts. A breathless young woman who once saw Les Miserables. And an exchange student from Bangladesh who signed up by mistake. Normally, I would use in my spare time to prepare for next semester's course on world drama. But I learned today that it's just been supplanted by a second section of a new course in media studies entitled The Brady Bunch and Beyond.
Oh, you poor man.
No, not now, because you see, your husband called and invited me here. And suddenly I find myself not simply discussing, but also actively involved in what could be a vital new American play. I mean, it's thrilling, Peggy. I feel we're on the brink of a major breakthrough. So I hope you'll forgive me if I ask you a few more pointed questions.
Shoot.
Okay, then here goes. Now, let's assume, Peggy, that there are people beyond that wall. You're here, and they're there. And suddenly, here's your big moment. What would you do?
Wow. I think I'd make a speech.
All right, Peggy. And what would you say?
Well, can I talk about current issues?
You can do anything you want. This is your play, after all. You're the one who's hammering out a whole new form.
Well, I think I'd say 3 things.
Just 3.
Well, just 3 things to start.
Okay, do it.
Well, I'd start off easily, and I'd use a simple example.
Example of what, Peggy?
How the world's gone off track about our obsession with Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
Well, you know, and Pepsi and soda pop and all those soft drinks. Carbonated, decaffeinated, caffeinated, or not, I'd say that they are overpriced, nutritionally useless, and they're absolutely horrible for your teeth. And the amount of money and labor that we use producing, transporting, consuming, and then dealing with their containers is a total waste of time. And then I'd say that we should all of us should have the responsibility to see that everybody in the world is able to enjoy and drink a free supply of cool, clear water.
That's quite a statement, Peggy. That hits at the heart of a consumer society.
Oh, that's just the first thing I'd say.
Just the first?
Well, the second would be to talk about Bill Clinton.
You named him directly?
Oh, I absolutely would.
So early in the game?
Oh, definitely. I'd say, here's a man at the end of the century, no, at the end of the millennium, held the most powerful position in the world. I'd say that here's a man who was given the opportunity to clean up the mess that we've made for over the last 40 years.
Did you name names there as well?
Oh, most definitely. I'd named everybody that took their eyes off the road and drove us into some ditch. I'd mentioned Johnson, Nixon, Reagan, Bush.
What would you say about Bush, for example?
Well, I'd say that he has a special responsibility because he grew up in a room just like this.
I'm not sure anyone in theater has pointed a finger so directly at a political figure since Aristophanes attacked the demigod Cleon in his comic masterpiece, The Birds.
Maybe. But then I'd talk about Cambodia.
Cambodia.
Oh, and Bosnia and the Sudan and all the places where people are in deep adversity. I'd say that the world is small enough now that we can no longer ignore the suffering of our brothers and sisters in humanity.
To get the others.
Why?
I want to tell them that we have a plot.
We do.
We most certainly do. We have the plot of one of the great plays of this or any other century.
But would you mind telling me what it is?
I'm sorry. I thought you knew. It's the plot of St. John.
St. John.
St. John. I'm thinking particularly of the version by George Bernard Shaw.
I've never seen it.
It's about a young French peasant girl who tries to change the world.
That's hardly me. I'm not so young and I'm not a peasant. In fact, my grandmother was in the social register.
But you have a peasant innocence, Peggy, and a taste for natural fibers in your clothes.
I do, don't I?
Furthermore, like Joan, you seem to hear special voices.
From beyond that wall.
From beyond that wall. And Joan acts on those voices. She goes to where the French Dauphin is huddling with his cronies and persuades him to be the king he should be.
Just the way I go to Washington and make George Bush do the same.
That's it. Then Joan and the Dauphin win a series of battles against the English and try to kick them out of France.
Just the way we'll kick all the lobbyists, special interests, and all the deadwood out of Washington.
Precisely! And remember that Shaw's play is not just about a peculiar peasant girl and a few obscure battles during the Hundred Years' War. What we are really seeing, Shaw tells us, is the rise of Protestantism and the birth of nationalism.
I see.
And with you, in your attack on consumer society, we're seeing what we might call the rise of ecology.
Okay.
And in your concern to move beyond national boundaries, we have a new kind of post-nationalism, or better yet, trans-nationalism.
Okay.
But no matter what we name these things, you sense something outside of yourself which is calling you to accomplish them, which means you're playing a new version of Joan of Arc.
I guess I am.
And that's what I have to go tell the others.
But wait, I have one more
I have to
question.
say, Peggy, I'm becoming impatient with these delays. As a teacher, I'm anxious to share my insights with the others. As a lover of the theater, I'm concerned we're slowing down the pace.
Okay, but I just have one more little question.
What's that?
Well, it's about the ending.
What about it?
Well, St. Joan dies, doesn't she?
Of course she dies! She gets captured by the English and burned at the stake!
But that is
Now
not...
stop quibbling, Peggy. I'm talking big time now. I wouldn't be surprised if we ended up in New York. I've got to go tell the others.
Oh, my God. Big town, what's before me? Fair weather or stormy? Big town, will I hit the heights and see my Yes, this is Peggy. What? Who is this? Well, I don't care what you say and I don't care what you do. I'm going to see this through to the end. Big town, what's before me? Fair weather or stormy? Big town, well, I hit the heights.
I have very bad news.
Oh, no. So do I. You said you had bad news.
I did, and you said the same.
Isn't it amazing how a sudden shock can affect your sense of time? I feel as though we've been standing here facing each other for over 15 minutes.
Ditto. Well, you tell me your news, then I'll tell you mine.
Okay. I just received a threatening phone call.
I thought things might get dangerous. Was it a man or a woman?
It's really hard to tell. It was either a man who sings a decent tenor or a woman who smokes about a pack a day. But either way, it was told to me in very sinister tones to rearrange my furniture immediately.
They don't like the fourth wall.
Ooh, they sure don't.
I can pretty well guess who it was.
You can?
Sure. It's obviously one of three possibilities in view of those speeches you made.
Who then?
First, it might have been a critic, warning you about your attempt to move beyond realism.
Okay, I can deal with that.
Or else it might have been a spokesperson for the soft drink industry, angry at what you said about Coke.
I'm sorry, but I'd probably say it again.
But frankly, I think it's a third alternative.
Who?
Hillary Clinton.
Because of what I said about Bill?
No, because she wants to play St. Joan herself.
But it was kind of a hoarse voice. Does she smoke?
Imagine secretly. Imagine she has to.
Well, I'm sorry, no matter who threatens me, these things need to be said.
Then keep saying them, Peggy.
Okay, now for your bad news.
I've decided not to tell you.
Hey, no fair.
I can't, Peggy, and here's why. You may have noticed that tonight we are caught in a death struggle between two sorts of plays.
Two sorts of plays.
Yes, one represents a uniquely American yearning for the democratic experience. The other is a cheap throwback to the continental sex comedy.
I don't understand.
I'm glad you don't, Peggy. But my job, as I see it, is to prevent the bad play from destroying the good, which is why I won't sully the stage by telling you my news.
But does it have something to do with my husband?
I won't say more. As the watchman in the Agamemnon says, an ox stands on my tongue.
Well, then I'm going to see for myself.
No, wait, Peggy, please. There's another reason why I don't want to tell you.
Another reason?
I'm nervous that you'll blame the messenger. I'm frightened that you'll confuse the teller with the tale. And, I don't know why, Peggy, but I don't think I can stand that.
Oh, all right. I won't do it.
Promise?
Oh, swear.
Okay, then. Here goes. You may remember I went off to tell Roger and Julia about the St. Joan thing.
Oh, I absolutely remember. You created a lot of suspense.
Was this suspense has evaporated, Peggy.
How come?
I couldn't tell them.
Why not?
They were unreceptive.
I don't understand.
They were in the bedroom, the door locked.
What?
So I knocked. I even rattled the doorknob. Finally, I put my ear to the door.
And what did you hear?
Some of the most second-rate dialogue it has been my misfortune to listen to.
Well, at least you heard dialogue.
I did. And then they opened the door.
Were their clothes all in disarray?
Somewhat. And they behaved sheepishly.
Sheepishly?
They claimed they'd been watching television.
Do you believe that?
Well, at least it explains the lousy dialogue. Television writing can be appalling.
Okay, but did you tell them about St. Joan?
I tried, but they didn't listen.
They didn't listen.
They shushed me
They shushed you.
and waved me away.
They waved you away.
And returned to the bed, where they remained sprawled on the bedspread, watching the tube.
No.
A sitcom, I might add,
No.
and a rerun at that.
Are you sure?
I am. At least the plot seems vaguely familiar.
Oh, God.
Exactly. Oh, God. Actually, the line from St. Joan is, "Oh, God that madest this beautiful earth, when will it be ready to receive thy saints?"
Well, not from watching television, I can tell you that.
Of course not.
This is horrible.
You can see why I was a reluctant messenger.
I always knew that Julia would try and seduce Roger. She's had that on her mind ever since she saw his underpants in the 3rd grade.
And in their attempt to rekindle these juvenile feelings, they've regressed to television.
Which they're probably not even watching. Which is probably just blabbing away in the background.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh. Floyd.
I'm sorry, Peggy, I really am.
I wonder what St. Joan would do about this.
She'd ignore it. She'd have more on her mind than the backstage gropings of a couple of stock characters.
That's true.
So don't let this throw a vulgar light on all we've accomplished thus far.
Oh, I'll try not to.
Television! I should have known. A major threat to the contemporary theater. We could compete with the movies, but television.
In our bedroom with another woman.
Well, maybe our country deserves to decline. Rome had its bread in circuses. We have TV.
Not necessarily. I'm going to break up the party.
No, wait.
No. This time I am off. If they want sitcom, they'll get sitcom.
No, wait. Yeah, I have one more thing that I need to say.
Okay, listen. This time is time for me to act. Goodbye.
Half of acting is listening, Peggy. I listen to your speeches. Now, you listen to mine.
All right. But if I lose concentration, I'm sure you'll understand why.
Peggy, I want you to know that I have never, in all my years of teaching, made any kind of romantic advance towards any of my female students, no matter how attractive they might be.
Good for you, Floyd.
This is because I've always considered myself too professional.
Oh, that's sweet of you to tell me. Now may I go?
Oh, wait, please. There's something about this room, Peggy, that has reoriented me. As we've been playing our scenes together, Peggy, I've begun to have second thoughts about my sexuality. Even as I've announced the infidelity of your husband, I've had the strange yearning to take his place at your side.
Floyd.
No, seriously, Peggy. In fact, I think I love you. I want to be with you wherever you go. All right, I may be professional, but why should I let that stop me? I mean, people like me on stage make fantastic lovers. English actors have been proving this for years. Well, at least they have the technique. But we have the feelings, Peggy. At least I have for you tonight.
Floyd, I think you're slipping into that continental sex comedy.
Maybe I am. But what the hell? I mean, I don't have to sleep with you. The Lord knows I'd love to take a crack at it. I won't even play the frustrated lover mooning at your side. May I simply hang out with you occasionally, screening your calls, opening your hate mail, sharing a pizza with you in lonely hotel rooms when you take the play on the road?
But what about your teaching career? Don't you want tenure?
How can I teach St. Joan when I've met the real thing?
Are we interrupting something?
You most certainly are.
We were watching TV.
So I've heard.
No, darling, really, we were.
With the door locked.
That was automatic, darling. Just a hangover from the days when the children used to barge in.
Do not bring the children into this.
All right, darling. Here's the thing. Julia and I may have entered the bedroom with other intentions. But during the preliminaries, I happened to roll onto the remote. The TV came on, so naturally we watched it.
It just shows how television dominates our lives.
It turned out to be crummy. I was bored with it almost immediately.
Oh, really? Then why did you continue to watch?
I hoped it would get better.
Hoped it would get better. Hoped it would get better. That's what they said about post-war Russian drama.
And did it get better, Roger, after Floyd came and went?
And left you to your own devices.
No, it didn't. It got worse.
I disagree completely. I thought it was getting quite good.
Okay, now I'm confused. Are we talking about sex or television?
Only in America could such a question arise.
Well, the answer is, he grabbed the remote and switched to the sports channel.
Oh my gosh, this has a ring of truth. Men are always doing that. They remotely control every aspect of our lives. And we women sit passively by and accommodate them to every click of the channel.
Hey, now hold on here. I mean, just hold on. Who has been accommodating whom around here? I mean, who's been putting up with this friggin' fourth wall? Peggy, I have loved you for a hell of a long time, but sometimes you are a royal pain in the backside. Now, I'm telling you, nothing happened between Julia and me. And that's a hard thing to say because Julia is an extremely exciting woman.
Thank you, Roger.
And what if something had, Peggy? I mean, what if a man happens to put his wee-wee into the wrong woman? I mean, wrong woman. So what? Maybe a man gets tired of the approved diet occasionally and wants to bite into a good, unhealthy, sizzling steak.
Oh, thank you, Roger.
I mean, the French do it all the time. We're disappointed when they don't. Hindu gods do it on temples. Hollywood stars do it on the screen.
Folks in Siam do it. Look at Siamese twins.
And your buddy Bill Clinton did it too.
He did not.
I say he did. And Hillary welcomed him back. And the country elected him president.
That's why I voted for him.
This scene will stand as the most insidious defense of adultery in all of Western drama.
All right, Roger. What if I do?
No,
Why not?
that would be completely out of character.
Oh, but my character has changed.
There. You see, as with most arguments between husbands and wives, you've both gotten absolutely nowhere.
Why don't you go watch the Playboy channel? That should take care of everything.
I don't want to watch TV anymore, Peg, ever. Except for the Buffalo Bills.
Then welcome back to the living stage.
Floyd, please wait, just a moment. I have one final thing I want to say to Roger and Julia.
Shoot. I'm ready for it.
I have nothing to be ashamed of, at least this far in the plot.
Roger, Julia, when you were in the bedroom demonstrating your limited attention span, and I was out here in the living room with Floyd working on a very difficult scene, did either of you give a thought to what might be happening in the kitchen?
The kitchen?
Did either of you, for example, stop to think what might be going on in the oven? Or did you stop to think about what we might be having for a green vegetable? Did you think to look in the freezer for anything for dessert?
I didn't.
Nor, I'm afraid, did I.
I didn't think so! Excuse me, Floyd, but it appears that St. John is still responsible for a meal.
Hey, let me help you,
No,
sweetheart.
no, you will try and butter me up.
At least let me wash the lettuce.
All right, but no goosing, no nuzzling, and no fooling around. I'm still very angry at you, Roger. You can't switch my channels that easily.
I'm hopeless in the kitchen. Being a New Yorker, I either order in or eat out. Even breakfast poses a problem. I don't understand stoves. I always burn my buns. Are you a good cook? I said, are you a good cook? Oh, really? Do you have any specialties?
Noisette du beurre Angleterre, gnocchi e porcini di Firenze, trautelli, putenzi dumplings.
Oh, yummy. Sounds delicious. Maybe you'd cook for me sometime.
No thanks.
Do you mind if I smoke?
Yes,
You do. You really do.
I really do.
Oh, don't tell me. You're one of those health Nazis.
Glad to say I am.
Well, then suppose I joined the resistance and did it anyway.
I wouldn't.
But I wanted to.
There are no ashtrays here.
Then, I'll use this little plate of Staffordshire china.
I doubt the good craftsman in Staffordshire designed that plate as a receptacle for lipstick-stained butts.
Nonetheless, I think I'll employ it for such.
You might be interested to know that no one smokes on stage anymore.
Oh, really?
It's a piece of stage business that's totally obsolete.
Well, then the theater has lost another fine old custom, for if it's done well, it can be both seductive and reveal character. Watch, for example, how attractively I do this. You'll be reminded of the lights.
You like that butt, lady, and I'll take it and all your other smoking paraphernalia and cram them attractively in your ears.
You're not very polite. I suppose you know that.
Yes, I know that.
I mean, all I'm trying to do is to have a simple scene with you, and you are making it virtually impossible.
We don't even belong in the same play, lady, let alone the same scene.
Oh, really? And why, pray tell, do you say that?
Because we've made a major breakthrough here today. We've opened the whole thing up. We've been talking about big issues, and you're bringing it all back down to some second-class, middle-rate comedy of manners.
Oh, really? And what big issues have you been talking about?
Reforming this country, changing the world, all that.
Come on.
In fact, we found certain strong parallels to St. Joan.
Oh, St. Joan. Joan of Lorraine, the Ark family's little girl, Joan. That Joan?
That Joan.
You've got to be kidding. St. Joan as a subject in today's world? Why, even the movie was a failure 40 years ago. Oh, grow up, Professor Lesser. Join the 21st century.
Yeah, well, you might be interested to know that it is an eternal story. It stretches back to Antigone and forward to Thelma and Louise.
Oh, yes.
Oh yes, and in all its many manifestations, there is no place in the cast for a type like you. So please find a reason to get off the stage, madam, or I will find one for you.
Floyd. May I call you Floyd?
I don't give a hoot.
Floyd, I have a friend.
Oh, I doubt that, Julia.
No, I do, Floyd. I have a friend who is a professional actor. And she once told me that whenever she got into trouble in a scene, she just tried to remember her original objective. Now, what was my original objective? My original objective was simply to give an opinion on this wall.
And so,
But as things progressed, I modified that objective. My objective became to seduce someone.
you mean Roger.
I mean Roger. But recently, as you may have noticed, Roger passed, as they say in the theater. And being a woman, I am capable of lowering my sights.
Don't get any ideas, lady.
What, you? With me? Oh, oh heavens, no. No, what I meant was that I am modifying my objective once again. My objective now is simply and solely to engage you in casual conversation. All I want to do is keep the ball in the air in the ball. That's my only objective at this point.
Well, my objective remains what it has always been. To keep good theater alive in this country in order to create and maintain a healthy and self-critical society.
But we'll keep theater alive, dear heart, simply by talking to each other.
Conversation is not dramatic dialogue.
Come on. We've got to do something. I mean, we're stuck out here with this stupid fourth wall. At least tell me where you're from.
I'm not saying.
Oh, please. Just as an improvisation, just to get us started.
I happen to come from a very underestimated town.
Name it. We'll see.
I happen to come from right here.
What? Buffalo? Boflo, or as is cruelly called, the mistake on the lake.
This is my hometown.
But I'm from Buffalo, too.
Oh, come on, Vint.
Oh, you would have known that if you'd been here for the exposition.
I'm amazed.
There, you see. You see where casual conversation can take us. Already we've struck a common chord. Shall we pursue the thread?
Oh, heck, why not?
All right. Tell me about your family, for example.
You wouldn't know them.
Oh, please, I might.
From a very different world.
But maybe your mother cleaned for us.
Actually, I have no family, Julia.
Oh, don't be silly. There must be more lessers.
The name Lesser was given to me by my drama teacher in high school, who happened to admire the composer of Guys and Dolls.
But what was your surname before that?
I didn't have one. I was an orphan.
An orphan.
When I was barely a few hours old, I was deposited on the steps of the Niagara Home for Little Wanderers by an unwed mother.
No.
Yes. And I was raised there by a group of kindly social workers. No one ever adopted me because I had a slight bedwetting problem, which, thank you very much, is now virtually cured.
You're not going to believe this, Floyd.
What?
Well, here's the thing. I, yours truly, little me, once had an illegitimate child.
You're kidding.
No, I really did. I never thought I could talk about it unless I was invited onto the Oprah Winfrey Show.
You? A mother?
When I was very young, before I became involved in Planned Parenthood. And guess what I did with my illegitimate child?
Oh, I hate to think.
I deposited it on the steps of the same institution which you referred to in your own narrative.
The Niagara Home for Little Wanderers?
Same.
Fantastic.
I know it.
Talk about coincidence.
Talk about plot.
Small world, huh?
Old home week.
Niagara Home Week.
Exactly. Now you see what fun it can be when people just loosen up and converse.
I do. I'm beginning to see that.
Well, let's keep going, shall we? Just to see where things lead.
Oh, shoot. Sure. Why not?
All right, Blake. How old are you? More or less. Just a ballpark figure.
I'll tell you this. Today's my birthday.
Well, happy same.
Thanks, Julia.
I should have a present or something.
No. No.
Now, wouldn't it be amusing if my lost child were approximately the same age?
Oh. That would be a good one, wouldn't it?
Well, now we can actually check.
You can check.
I just happen to be wearing this locket containing the date of birth and a scrap of the little nightgown the infant was wearing when I presented it to the orphanage. I wear this everywhere, except the subway, of course. Here. Can you see the date? Read it for me, would you please? I don't have my glasses.
It's today's date.
No.
I swear.
Oh, I can't believe this. We're beginning to sound like Dickens. It must be the stupid fourth wall.
Actually, I always carry with me a scrap of the nightshirt I was found in.
Wouldn't it be fun if they compared favorably?
Oh, that would be too much. Julia,
And don't tell me.
no. Seriously, look, they compare. They're almost identical. And see, only when you hold them up together like this can you read the following message. Tumble dry under moderate heat.
I can't believe this.
I mean, geez, we were just talking, and out all this stuff comes. You were right, Julia, about the natural flow of conversation. It makes me think I've been much too structured, both in the classroom and outside.
I'm very tempted to tell the others.
You think we should?
They might get a kick out of it.
Maybe we should make a call first.
A call.
To the Niagara Home for Little Wanderers, just to be sure.
Oh, you think so?
I've learned in academia never to jump to conclusions.
I suppose you're right.
I mean, take the little nightshirts, for example. Lots of children might have worn them.
I suppose those were conformist times.
Buffalo, New York, please.
Wait, Floyd. I noticed a telephone in the den. Maybe we should call from there. I mean, this is a rather private issue.
You're right.
Oh, let's go then. Oh, I wonder if these orphanages give information out over the telephone.
Oh, they have to nowadays. It's the law. All you need is a valid credit card.
Floyd,
What?
in view of how far we've come, oh, do you think you might let me celebrate by smoking just one little ciggy poo?
Only if you let me bum one.
Oh, Floyd, you're a piece of work. You really are.
After you could supply my sky of blue, after you could I love, after you why should I take the time to try? For who else could qualify after you? Take my hand and swear you'll never cease to care. For without you there, what would I do? I could search here, but who else could change my tears into laughter after you? I could search years, but who else could change my tears into laughter after you?
Come and eat.
Where are the others?
Oh, they're telephoning in the den. They said to go ahead without her.
I'll just see how long they'll be.
Roger,
What?
it's time that you and I had a scene together, by ourselves.
Couldn't we do it in the kitchen?
No, it belongs here in front of this wall.
But I love eating in the kitchen. Remember when the kids were here, eating in the kitchen, watching Jeopardy? I loved all of that.
Now see, there you go. You're falling back on television again. Will you please sit down? Roger?
Suddenly, I'm feeling very nervous.
So am I. I wonder if we're subconsciously reminded of that final scene in the dollhouse. The one by Ibsen?
Uh-oh, I read that my freshman year in college.
So did I. It seems in those days everybody read the same thing.
Maybe you should refresh my memory. I got a C in English because I spent so much time playing freshman lacrosse.
Well, I only got a B minus, but I believe what happens is the wife sits her husband down, and then she explains to him why she's leaving him.
Leaving?
Walking out.
Forever?
You have that feeling, yes.
Why?
Because he never took her seriously.
I've taken you seriously, Peg.
As a wife, yes. As a mother, oh yes. But as me, a person in my own right, never. Anything that has nothing to do with our immediate family, you don't listen to what I have to say.
Peggy,
No, it's the truth. And I'm serious now. If we'd had this scene in the beginning, we wouldn't be having it at all.
Your logic eludes me, darling.
No, it doesn't. You understand perfectly well what I'm saying. You just choose to ignore it.
Sweetheart.
You
look,
always do. Oh, Roger, we have been so lucky, you and I, with our children, with your work, with everything. That's made us really smug and very selfish. And I had to shake things up.
Well, consider me shook.
I wonder. I tried to open up our life, and what did you do? You brought Julia in to trivialize the problem. Then you brought Floyd in to categorize it academically.
Sweetheart.
No,
look,
no, and you think that if everybody sings Cole Porter, everything will be all right.
But I love Cole Porter.
I know you do, and so do I. But he is not the solution for what ails us.
Hey, he's a serious guy, Peggy. There's such a hungry, yearning, burning deep inside of him.
Roger, I am not going to argue the score with you. There's a certain inevitability in plays. And there's a certain natural progression in the history of modern drama. I learned that in freshman English, too. After Ibsen comes Shaw, which means that after we do the dollhouse, I have got to go play St. Joan.
Yeah, well, are you going to put on armor, or can you play it in pantyhose?
Damn it, Roger! I discovered a fifth wall here tonight.
A fifth, please! I can't even handle the fourth.
Well, when you do, you still have a fifth wall to get through, and that's the wall between men and women. And that's the most difficult one to break through. Now, goodbye. I'm off to Washington.
Washington? Floyd mentioned New York.
No, I've decided Washington.
That's a dangerous town, love.
No, I'm going to change that. I'm going to put a fourth wall in the White House.
May not be feasible. It's an Oval Office.
Well, still, I'll do it. And then I'm going to put a wall in every house in America.
Not many people have one wall these days, I need much less four.
All the more reason for me to get going.
Yeah, but why you?
Because I want to. Because I said I would. And there's people counting on me.
What people?
Those people, Roger! Those people beyond the wall, where the hell have you been?
I've been here, love, all evening. And I have to tell you in all honesty, I don't think there's anyone out there.
You don't.
I really don't, sweetheart. Look, even if there were people beyond that wall, Peggy, I don't think they'd expect you to change the world. Now, maybe they'd be amused, maybe even interested. But in the end, they wouldn't take this St. Joan's thing terribly seriously.
You don't think so?
I really don't, sweetheart. Plays never change the world. And the ones that try don't last.
Oh boy.
Hey, look, you know, we've had a good time here tonight, huh? We've had a few laughs. You have said some things that needed to be said. But now, don't you think it's time we put the furniture back the way it was?
The way it was?
Look, I promise, huh? I'll turn off the TV. We can talk eyeball to eyeball anytime you want.
What you're telling me is that you just want to sit here and grow old.
And enjoy each other. And our kids, our friends. Maybe even grandchildren someday, huh? Look, Peggy, leave politics to the politicians. Let's hunker down at home.
So what you're telling me is that I'd run up against a blank wall.
Guess that's what I'm saying.
Like Melville's Bartleby.
Like Melville's Bartleby.
You look so gloomy. Has someone died?
Only a dream.
Well, we'd like to thank you for the use of your telephone.
I hope it served its purpose.
Well, it did and it didn't.
Meaning,
We thought we'd have a surprise for both of you.
We thought we discovered you were related.
In fact, I secretly hope we'd be able to dramatize the connectedness of all human beings.
Oh, now that would have been wonderful.
This was not to be.
It turns out the illegitimate child I deposited at an orphanage years ago was female rather than male. It simply slipped my mind.
The child was obviously not me, and I'd be glad to prove it.
That's very weird. In my eagerness to carry on a conversation, I assumed too much.
In my eagerness for a recognition scene, I went along with it.
Oh,
Art is not life, people. And what happens on stage tends to be modified once we're in the wings.
on the other hand, we have been on a meaningful journey together and have formed a friendship with no romantic component whatsoever. Well, now, this is new to me, of course. You might say I've broken through my own personal fourth wall.
And as for me, I feel that life has finally penetrated the academic shell I built around myself. Next semester, I plan to take a sabbatical from teaching and concentrate simply and solely on my bedwetting problem.
I'll help you, dear.
I'd appreciate that.
Then here's what we do.
I knew it. I knew it. He's going to try to end this thing with a Cole Porter song.
Yep. Here it goes.
What say, let's be buddies. What say, let's be pals. What say, let's be buddies and keep up each other's morals. I may never shout it, but many's the time I'm blue.
Come on, Peg.
What say, how's about it? Can't I be a buddy to you?
That was great. One more time from the top.
What say, let's be buddies?
Want somebody?
What say, let's be pals? Like Hope and Crosby. What say, let's be buddies?
Like Beaumont and Fletcher!
Keep up each other's morale.
Take it, Peg.
I may never shout it, but I can't do this. I can't.
Why not? You were doing fine.
Oh, but that's just it. It reminds me of how wonderful it is when people get together and sing.
Oh, only in small groups, darling, when they're old friends and know the words.
But I want everybody to be singing different parts to some basic underlying melody.
Is she talking about opera?
No, she's talking about the social contract, as proposed by Jean-Jacques Rousseau in the 18th century.
Well, whatever it is, I've got to get people to join here.
Hey, not everyone can carry a tune, Peg.
Oh, then they can beat a drum. Come on, Floyd. Let's march into battle.
March? I'm just learning how to walk, Peggy.
Okay. I guess I'll go alone.
Wait! What about the exam? Early in the evening, Floyd mentioned an exam.
Yes, Peggy, that was a plant. You can't just leave it hanging there.
Right, you've got to take the exam, Peg.
She's already passed. Summa cum laude.
Oh, Floyd, thank you. And thank you for my plot. Oh, and Julia, goodbye. I'm really, really going to miss you, darling. Okay, now, if you go take a look in the freezer, you'll see that there's lots of leftovers. I thought they might tide you over until you learned how to cook.
I won't bother. I'll eat Chinese. I'll have an affair.
Oh, not with me, thank you. I'm over all that.
I won't let you go, Peggy. I'll keep you here by force.
Don't be silly, darling. Goodbye. Whoa! I knew you were here. I knew it the whole time. I knew it. Oh my gosh, I'd love to get together, but I've got to get to Washington. I am going to save the world. Goodbye, goodbye. Anything you'd like me to tell George? Oh, I'm sorry. I've got to go. Wish me luck.
Wow, did you see that? She broke the proscenium.
He must have done it with mirrors.
Quickly, Floyd, was St. Joan married?
Of course not.
She must have had lovers.
Only in Schiller and Verdi.
Shoot, I can't speak German or Italian.
In Shaw, there's a loyal soldier who follows her around. I wanted to play it once upon a time.
I don't do that.
It's a minor role.
Well, maybe I've played the lead too long. Whoa, she was right. You are here. You are really here. Hello. Peggy, wait up. I'm coming. I don't believe it. You're here. You're so good looking. Peggy, wait for me. I've got the credit cards.
Well, that was the end of a rather pleasant little evening.
As Shaw says, at the end of St. John, I wonder.
Can't I be a buddy?
Can't I be a buddy?
Can't I be a buddy?